Hey guys, it's John here from Horror Fiend Reviews, and today starts the kick-off of the 31 Days of Horror. So what I'm going to be doing is, for every single day in October, all 31 days, I'll be doing 31 movie reviews for some horror movies that I think are going to be enjoyable during the Halloween season. I did post a full list to my Instagram page with all the titles and the order in which they'll be reviewed. So if you want a spoiler on the list that's available, then definitely check my Instagram page. But without further ado, let's get into day one. First, we're going to talk about the 1978 Halloween by John Carpenter. Quite possibly, in my opinion anyway, one of the best slasher movies of all time. Truly iconic. The score for the movie is absolutely incredible, which John Carpenter done himself. I did see a documentary recently about the making of Halloween. He just was flawless in his execution. The way that he managed everything, he was just extremely efficient. Apparently, no one had any problems with the movie on set, which is quite rare, to be honest. Everyone usually has a problem. But yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, then I'm just going to give a quick synopsis, I guess. But yeah, it starts in Haddonfield, Illinois, I believe. A POV of someone in a Halloween costume goes into the kitchen, grabs a knife, goes upstairs, kills his sister, which we then find out it's Michael Myers. So yeah, it goes to 15 years later after that's happened, and Michael has been institutionalized, and he escapes, which in my opinion it's a pretty weak part of the story. I mean, you don't really see in depth about how he escapes, like in the Rob Zombie remake. You can see that kind of aspect was left out, which, I mean, is fair enough. It's not a huge important part of the story, but the way that it happens in the movie is not that great. Just, he attacks an orderly while she's in her car, and then suddenly this person who was 6 when he was institutionalized now knows how to drive, so he steals a car and bails. Then you meet Laurie and her friends. Laurie's played by Jamie Lee Curtis, which now at this point is one of the most iconic roles that she's ever had in her illustrious career. She's always going to be known as Laurie Strode. She's a scream queen, man. She's the ultimate scream queen, in my opinion. But yeah, Laurie and her friends, on the lead up to Halloween, start seeing this weird guy either in a car or in front of the bushes, which is the iconic scene where Michael steps out, where he's got his full Michael Myers get up with the mask and jumpsuit, where he steps out in and out from behind the bush, and then when they go and check, he's gone. So Laurie is babysitting Tommy Doyle, who is a kid in the neighbourhood, and her friend Annie, who is also the sheriff's daughter, she's babysitting Lindsay Wallace. And then typical slasher movie, at the time not so typical, but nowadays it's seen as so typical, but Annie wants to go see her boyfriend, so she leaves Lindsay with Laurie and Tommy, so she's babysitting all of them and she's covering for her, and then one by one they start to be picked off. Not extremely violent, to be honest. The very first scene where Michael kills his sister was very tame. It was seen through a mask, so it's not violent or anything. You just sort of see a hand moving in front of the mask with a knife. And then all the other kills after that, you see, I think it's Bob is pinned against the wall with a knife, and again another iconic scene where Michael just sort of looks at him with his head tilted, sort of fascinated about what's happened. Very, very creepy in the dark, very creepy scene. Then we have PJ Souls' character, again another iconic death scene where Michael Myers walks up the stairs with the bedsheet over him and the glasses, and she thinks it's her boyfriend. She then starts to tease him and then gets frustrated and then calls Laurie, and as soon as she picks up, she's strangled with a phone cord, which was a pretty iconic death scene. But then after all of her friends are dead, then Michael then sets his sights on Laurie, who is then chased between the Doyle residence and the Wallace residence, so they're running back and forth. She's then saved by Dr. Sam Loomis, who's been in contact with the police and has just tried to convince everyone that Michael Myers is a danger. But yeah, it's one of It's a Halloween favourite, not only because its name's Halloween, but it's a truly creepy movie if you're watching it by yourself. And it's the first time you've ever watched a horror movie. I mean, this was the first one I watched, and it took me a couple of tries. Honestly, I couldn't get all the way through it by myself. The first time I watched it, when I got to the scene where Michael's standing in the laundry, like that scarred me as a child. I had nightmares because of that one scene, and I mean today that's tame compared to back then in the 70s. But yeah, man, that really freaked me out, and it still sticks with me to this day. But yeah, this is definitely a good way to start the Halloween season. I didn't want to keep that one last. I think it's a truly iconic movie that I think should be viewed first. This is the platform to which a lot of movies that are following this list were based off of. This is the trailblazer for a lot of these movies. It's influenced so many directors, so many writers, so many actors throughout the years. So yeah, definitely this is first one to start off your 31 Days of Horror if you're gonna watch a movie every day. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow for number 2 on the list. All social media will be in the description below. This has been Horror Fiend Reviews. I've been John, and I will catch you later.